So today we want to cover basic rules that I have implemented that I've gotten obviously from somebody else of inside zone run play. Okay, so just the basics of the inside zone. Okay, aim a point for the tailback, A gap to A gap. Most of the time hitting backside, but can hit front side based off the A gap defender. Okay, and what they do. So the tailback's got to be on the same page as the offensive line. What happens sometimes is the offensive line's blocking a certain way, and then the tailback doesn't understand the play. So we're blocking them a certain way, or our body position is a certain way, and the tailback's not in correlation with us, so it kind of screws it up, and vice versa. All right, let's say your offensive line's angles are bad, they're not cutting off the right number, they don't know where the ball's going, so then it screws the tailback up because the tailback's doing coach what he's doing. So that's one coaching point I would say. Always make sure that your tailback and your offensive line's aiming points and ideas of where a play is supposed to go are the same. Otherwise, it can cause a lot of problems. There's been a lot of times where I'm like, well, that's not, the tailback's wrong here. If he would have been right, then the offensive line would have been right and the play would have worked. All right, but so you just got to get reps and make sure you do what you're supposed to do there. All right, so let's just talk about my basic rules that we've implemented. All right, I always call Gucci rules, okay? And Gucci is something that relates, the kids can relate to this, all right? They understand it. All right, Gucci is a cool word, I guess. And so what we do is we break this down. Gap, uncovered, covered, can, I, help, and ID. So no particular order in the sequence of event that needs to happen, because obviously the first thing that needs to happen is we got an ID. Alright, but I will say this. A lot of times, you just got to get to the first letter and you know who you're supposed to block. Alright, so let's talk through this. Alright, so gap. Where's my play side, where's my backside? I always ask kids this. They need to know where your play side is, where your backside is. Alright, so let's say we're running zone right. First question I ask, hey, where's your play side? All right, play side, zone right. All right, so look to your play side gap. All right, that's the first thing we're looking at. My play side gap. If I'm the center, it's A gap. Okay, if I'm the guard, it's B gap. Obviously, if I'm the tackle, it's C gap. All right, look to your play side gap. Most of the time, hey, my rules are done. I'm good. That's my rules. I'm going. All right, and know where the aiming point of the tailback is. Like I said. Okay, because that will dictate the aiming point of where you need to be. All right, so if I know it's an A gap to A gap run play, all right, I want to make sure that if I got a thing 1 or a 2, that I'm blocking that guy right down the midline, trying to keep that inside out. All right, and I don't want to get too far into that because we still got a lot to talk to before we talk about aiming points. All right, so next is uncovered. All right, we look at the line of scrimmage. We say, all right, who is uncovered? All right, so get up to the line of scrimmage. Hey, Gucci, 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 Gucci. ID, ID. Hey, 4-3, 4-3. Number 1, and we'll talk about that in a minute, the mic. All right, that's where we're pushing our front side combo to. All right, number 1 is the mic. All right, we got 4-3 or 4-2. All right, hey, I got 3 technique right here. We're going to call our double teams, front side, back side double teams. We'll get to that in a second. All right, so but the simple thing is, all right, who's uncovered? All right, I look to my play side gap. Is there a down lineman? All right, now we talk about head up guys. You could be covered. So we're still going to step to that gap, which we always step in a zone. We always step to an aiming point in inside zone, so it doesn't matter whether they want to slant or stunt or twist, whatever. All right, but so I look right there, and let's say I'm the backside guard. And let's drop it front. I think it'll make it easier for us. All right. All right, so let's identify, let's apply our Gucci rules here. All right, Gucci, 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 Gucci. All right, so play side tackle. He looks to his play side gap. Is he covered? Gap. Yes, he's done. He ain't got to look any further. All right, we call this a whiteout block because my aiming point here is to keep that from in here. All right, because we know this play is going from there to there. All right, so we don't want anything in here. Okay, so we want to inside number that. Okay, so always tell the aiming point on that, on the whiteout block. I want to take my outside foot and step right to the inside of their outside leg. Okay, and that might not make sense, but, okay, take my outside foot, step to the inside of their outside leg with that lead foot. And now, if I do that, if that's my first step, we always talk about hands, hat, hands, hips, feet. Hat, hands, hips, feet. I call that the offensive line hokey pokey. All right, hat, hands, hips, feet. All right, where my feet go, where my hips go is where my hat goes. Where my hat goes is where my hips go. Everything's in correlation. All right, then your hands and your feet follow. All right, so if I step right there with my outside foot to the inside foot of if I step my outside foot to the inside of his outside foot, all right, then wherever he wants to go, if he wants to stay fighting upfield, all right, I can run him by. All right, if he wants to come inside, I've got strong arm inside. All right, and then I say take your nose and stick it right in their near jugular vein. All right, so that would be a wideout block. Their near jugular vein, your right foot should go to the outside of their inside foot. Okay, so we're good there. All right, so last week on my 5-man pass pro video, we had a serious discussion about this because this makes a difference. All right, so is this guy a 2-eye or is he a 1? Okay, some people say, oh, it's a shade. It's not. Okay, it changes our aiming points. All right, so he's a 2-eye right there. Now I know that I've got to be thick into that as the center. All right, because we're working to take that over. And then that double team's got to be vertical, and the center's probably going to end up coming off for that Mike. Okay, it could end up being a gallop situation, but I know right there I got to stay square. Okay, I got to stay square into the line of scrimmage. All right, now if he's a 1, now he's here, which is that little bit of space makes a world of a difference because the leverage of these linebackers could fool with us. You don't want to get in a situation, this is what they want, to where they're eating up those guys at the line of scrimmage, and now these guys are free runners. Okay, so I need to make sure that I understand where the aiming point of the ball is going. All right, and then how this little bit of space can hurt us from getting to the second level. All right, and that's what we want to be able to do. All right, so let's go back to my Gucci rules here. Okay, so Gucci, Gucci, Gucci. All right, so right here, let's say he's a 1 technique. All right, now we're working an ace double team. All right, Gucci rules, the center is covered. Okay, I'm covered. You got somebody in your play side gap? Yes. Okay, now identify who's uncovered. All right, who's uncovered? The right guard. All right, so now the right guard's next question is, can I help? Yes, I can help you. Now we got to identify what double team we're going to work to get there. Okay, right here we would call this time step vertical, time step vertical. Okay, so he's going right down the middle of this guy. Drive attack block. He's going to step with his outside foot, pick it up, put it down, and now he's punching with his backside hand through an angle block on that, okay, because that's what's going to end up happening. That center steps right down the middle of that guy. He's pushing there. Now I got this right guard. He's stepping. We're posting. All right, and now we're drive, okay. That guy fits over the top right there. The guard will end up coming off as we pass that, as we take that over. Okay, the center will take that over. He's coming off, and we're good there. If he wants to fit there, that's fine. Okay, now if we're working drive, now he comes over the top. Now that center has got to pass that off quickly. Flip your hips. Stay square. Square is always better in inside zone. I believe so. That's my opinion. Square is always better than inside zone. Okay, so square. We're square, we're working, and we're rocking and rolling there, and we're in good shape. Okay, we're just running inside zone read right here, so we're not worried about an H-back or anything, but nothing changes for offensive linemen. So if you had split flow right there, whatever, insert, whatever. All right, so now, here's the next one. All right, so that's play side. All right, gap, uncovered, covered, can I help, ID. All right, so we ID'd this guy as the play side double team. Okay, that's the play side double, the first play side double team in the box. He's number 1, he's the Mike. All right, so the first backside double team is working to the first thing behind the Mike. All right, so that would be this guy. All right, so my play side double team's working to the Mike, boom, boom, working there. Okay, your technique fundamentals has got to be something you emphasize there, but getting the rules there first is good. All right, so now we need to identify where this guy is. Okay, if he's a 4-eye, we might need, it might be a situation where we can tell him to try to cut him off as best we can. Okay, what I don't want, and what happens oftentimes, and this is something that maybe I'm wrong about, maybe I'm right about, sometimes this inside the zone bounces all the way back to the read guy. Okay, and that happens, okay, because we just end up washing this guy And then, but still, if I just turn and down block the piss out of this guy and try to work him there, I'm still got this guy running free. Okay, so we work a backside double team here. Okay, let's put him in a 3 technique. A 3 technique would be outside shoulder of the guard. Okay, so now we're still working time step vertical. Time step vertical. Okay, we want to pick it up, put it down. All right, so who's covered, who's uncovered? All right, so uncovered right here would be the left guard. So he's got to say, all right, well, who's covered? All right, that would be the left tackle. All right, so now the left guard's question is, well, can I help? Left tackle, can I help you? Yes, I can. All right, so now left tackle, what type of double team are we going to work to get this guy moving vertical and cut him off? Okay, it would be, again, a time step vertical. Time step. All right, now we're working vertical. Time step. It's going to end up looking like this. Okay, and that's okay. We just got to make sure we can ID this linebacker and make sure we're coming off. Okay, if that guy wants to bury down way in there, that's okay. We can keep washing him down. We can hit it backside. But like I said, I don't necessarily always like it bouncing all the way back to the read guy. Okay, which is fine if we're kicking him or anything like that. But I would rather it hit like this space right here. All right, if that makes sense. Okay, so time step vertical. Now we're working vertical to there. Okay, now everybody's accounted for. All right, so zone rules, and that's just to get us an over and under front, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, I don't have a strength there. All right, so the rules there. Let's go over it, and then we'll be done. Gap. All right, so look at my gap, my play side gap. All right, play side. All right, my right tackle, he's covered. All right, out. Out. All right, my play side guard. All right, he is uncovered. He does not have anybody head up or outside shoulder of him. Okay, nobody's there. So now his next question is, well, who is covered? Okay, well, he's covered, but I can't help him. I mean, that's way over there. So we look front side, we look back side. All right, so look back side. Is there anybody there? Yes. All right, so my center is covered. So I say, all right, can I help? Yes, I can. Center, I'm helping you. We're working time step vertical. Center's already ID'd. Hey, we're working time step vertical. We're working our double team, front side double team up to number 1. All right, who is the Mike? All right, so backside guard, same thing. Go through your things. All right, gap. Is there anybody in my gap? A down lineman. We're not talking about linebackers. All right, there's not. Okay, so I am uncovered. All right, so now look outside. Who is covered? All right, my left tackle's covered. All right, can I help you? Yes, I can help you. All right, so now we're working time step vertical, working up to that linebacker there. Okay, and that's just the basics of my rules for inside zone and how we work things. Now, there's a million things that go into it, but I felt like this is simple. Now, you've just got to make sure that you hone in on how to ID these linebackers. Okay, and that's just something that you got to work. Okay. Front side, backside. Front side, backside. Front side double team, backside double team. All right, make sure we can ID how many linebackers in the box, who's working where. All right, so let me go through this real quick. Ace, deuce, tray, if there was a tight end. All right, and then backside double teams, A, B, C. He'll go up to the line of scrimmage. He'll say, hey, ace 42, ace 42, time step vertical. Ace 42, time step vertical. All right, and then that's just the basics of inside zone. All right, so appreciate your time. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling.